The death of the Queen Elizabeth II has raised the unhealed wound of the Biafrans. We are here to unveil to you about the Nigerian Biafran civil war, known as the Biafran genocide, which took place in 1966 to 1970. These are the histories which many Nigerian schools refuse to teach their young ones. The upcoming one who want to know about the history, about the genocide that took place in Biafran land.
Britain's former colonies were being torn apart by civil war. In Nigeria, the federal government were fighting a vicious campaign to stop Biafra from seceding. The British government was secretly supplying the federal side with weapons. Their aim was to protect Britain's oil interests in Nigeria. But the Sunday Telegraph printed an internal government report which exposed this, and there was an outcry. The man who leaked the report was an idealistic young journalist, Jonathan Aitken.
If you had known in advance how much trouble it would have caused, would you once again have passed on that report to the Sunday Telegraph?
Well, my goodness, that's a difficult question. I think the answer really is this, that given that situation of that ghastly war going on, and given the fact that I believed I received that information in good faith, I think it was my duty as a journalist, and indeed as a citizen of this country, to pass on that information. So I think the real answer is yes, I would do it again.
There were protests throughout Africa. Britain was seen as helping the Nigerian government to pursue a policy of genocide. The scandal also split opinion in Britain.
Should we stop sending arms to Nigeria? Whether this would have any effect or not, should we stop sending them now?
Yes.
Hugh Fraser.
To my mind, it's a very simple, and the answer is yes. The alternative is, as proposed by people like Woodrow Wyatt, an MP in the Times today, is to keep up with the Russians. This is morally absolutely intolerable. It's politically inept. Your policy is losing out. You're making a fool of ourselves throughout the world. The people are regarding this country with moral obloquy. It's not this medical, the policy has failed.
If we don't supply arms to the Nigerian government, the Russians are going to go on doing it. The Russians have told the Nigerian government that whatever happens, they're going to see them through to victory. Well, is it wise that we should allow the whole of this vast area, with 52 million people in it, with more oil in it than Kuwait, to fall into the hands of the Russians? I mean, it's absolutely crazy.
The federal government won, helped by the British arms.
Last summer, the British government's policy of continuing to supply arms to the Nigerian federal government was attacked in demonstrations in Britain and abroad. In London, Biafran supporters clashed with the police in Trafalgar Square and Whitehall. Britain was branded with being an accomplice in genocide. At Basel in Switzerland, a British trade week was cancelled, and later in Bonn, Mr. Wilson, on an official visit, was mobbed by protesting students. The Biafran lobby in London was able to secure an emergency debate in both Houses of Parliament. It ended in uproar. Mark Press reprinted the whole of the Nigerian debate in a booklet with added comments in the margin. Comments which drew parallels with Hitler, Himmler and Stalin.
There were protests throughout Africa. Britain was seen as helping the Nigerian government to pursue a policy of genocide. The scandal also split opinion in Britain.
Should we stop sending arms to Nigeria? Whether this would have any effect or not, should we stop sending them now?
Yes.
Hugh Fraser.
To my mind, it's a very simple, and the answer is yes. The alternative is, as proposed by people like Woodrow Wyatt, an MP in the Times today, is to keep up with the Russians. This is morally absolutely